73% of construction workers retire with less than $50,000 in the bank. Think about that number for a second. After 25 years in the trades, swinging a hammer, dragging heavy conduit, or sweating over hot copper pipes, nearly 3/4 of the hardest working guys in America end up completely broke. I figured out exactly why this happens, and the fix is so simple it's almost insulting. Let me show you. Hey, it's Mike. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. This place is built for one group of people, the American tradesman who is tired of being lied to about money. Let's be completely honest with each other right out of the gate. We don't learn this stuff in trade school, and we definitely don't learn it from stuck-up Wall Street advisors who have never worn steel-toed boots or clock in at dawn. Your body has a hard expiration date on the job site. You cannot climb extension ladders, haul heavy iron, or bend over a trench when you are 67 years old. Your knees will give out, your lower back will slip, or your shoulders will quit on you. If you want to know how to stop trading your physical health for a paycheck, hit that subscribe button right now. We roll out real, no bullshit money blueprints for working guys every single week. Let's look at the biggest financial trap in our entire industry. It is sitting right out there in the job site parking lot every single morning at 6 a.m. You pull up, you grab your lunch pail, and you look around. What do you see? A beautiful, long row of brand new, lifted diesel pickup trucks with chrome rims and leather seats that cost $85,000 a piece. The guys driving them are making great money. Maybe they are commercial journeymen pulling down $38 an hour, or welding rigs racking up endless hours of overtime. On paper, they look like absolute kings. But here is the dark secret nobody ever talks about during lunch breaks on the job site. Most of those guys are exactly one missed paycheck away from losing everything they own. I know this because I lived it. Back in 2004, I was pulling down killer overtime on a massive commercial hospital build. My weekly checks were massive, and I felt completely invincible. So what did I do? I did exactly what every young guy does. I drove straight down to the local dealership and signed my life away for an $842 monthly payment on a heavy-duty truck I did not even need. I was working 60 hours a week just to feed that metal monster, pay for the insurance, and buy shiny new tools to fill the back. Then the contract ended. The local economy took a massive dive, and the entire construction market went completely bone dry. I was stuck sitting on my living room couch for 4 months straight, waiting for the union hall or a contractor to call. My phone never rang. Do you know how terrifying it is to watch your savings account dwindle down to exactly $312 while an $800 truck payment is staring you right in the face? It is a special kind of mental hell, and it ruins families. The biggest trap in the trades isn't low hourly wages, it is the illusion of the big check. We assume that because we are pulling in $2,500 a week right now, the money faucet will stay turned on forever. But construction work moves in waves. Winters get brutal, projects get delayed, materials get tied up in the supply chain, or a bad economic cycle hits. If you do not have a real blue-collar retirement plan in place, you are just building a house on a foundation of loose sand. Tradesmen don't retire broke because they don't earn enough over their lifetimes. They retire broke because they spend tomorrow's money today on depreciating toys that lose half their value the second you drive them off the lot. Look around your current job site. How many guys do you see who are in their late 50s or early 60s, moving slow, looking completely exhausted, but they are still out there forcing themselves to work because their bills leave them no other choice? My own turning point came when I turned 40 years old. I was working a commercial retail gig with an old drywaller named Frank. Frank was 63. His knuckles were permanently swollen from decades of arthritis, and you could literally hear his knees popping every time he climbed up a basic step stool. One hot afternoon, I stood there and watched him struggle just to lift a standard 12-foot sheet of drywall over his head. He was shaking from the strain. I walked over, helped him hoist it up, and asked him straight up, "Frank, you have been doing this forever. Why don't you just pull your pension, quit the tools, and go fishing?" He stopped, leaned against the wall, looked at me with the most exhausted eyes I've ever seen, and said, "Mike, if I stop hanging rock, my mortgage check bounces next Friday. I have no choice." That conversation hit me like a sledgehammer to the chest. I walked out to my truck at quitting time, looked down at my own calloused hands, and realized I was on the exact same track. I had been working for 15 years, earned well over $900,000 in total wages, but when I opened my mobile banking app, I had exactly $4,219 to my name. Nearly $1 million had slipped through my fingers, and I had nothing to show for it except a driveway full of things that were rotting away. I knew right then that the game had to change. I started ignoring the guys at work who bragged about their monthly payments, and I started studying how money actually works for regular working class people. That is when I looked into my buddy Tony's strategy. Tony was a service plumber, nothing fancy, just a regular guy fixing water heaters and clearing drains. But he did one thing completely different from the rest of the crew. He treated his retirement like a mandatory utility bill that had to be paid before anything else. Every single week, before he bought a single beer, a new tool, or an upgrade for his truck, a chunk of his check went automatically into a retirement account. While everyone else was laughing at his dented, paid-off work van, Tony was letting compound interest do the heavy lifting for him. By the time he decided to put down his pipe wrench for good, that small, boring habit had grown into a massive $1,241,000 nest egg. Let's break down the exact 3-step fix that can get you off the tools early. This isn't about giving up your life or living like a hermit. It is about being smart with the cash you're already busting your hump to earn. Step number 1 is building your personal dry spell cushion. In the skilled trades, you cannot operate on a standard civilian budget. Your income fluctuates too much. You need exactly $10,000 tucked away in a separate high-yield savings account that is completely disconnected from your main checking account. This money is not for an emergency hunting trip, it is not for a new set of tires you don't need, and it is definitely not for a weekend trip with the guys. This is your personal insurance policy against a dead winter or a canceled contract. When the job site shuts down for a month, you do not panic, you do not run up high-interest credit cards, and you do not borrow money from family. You calmly live off your cushion, and then you rebuild it step by step when you get back on the clock. Step number 2 is what I call automating your personal tool tax. Every single week, you need to take exactly 15% of your gross earnings and move it out of your site before you even have a chance to think about spending it. Think of it like a union dues payment or a tax, except this time you are paying your future self so you can retire from the trades on your own terms. If you are pulling down a modest $1,200 a week, 15% is exactly $180. You set up your bank account to automatically transfer that $180 every single week into a low-cost index fund inside a construction worker, 401k, or a Roth IRA. If you start doing this simple step at age 25, by the time you reach 55, that basic $180 a week grows into more than $1,100,000. Let me say that again, over $1 million, completely tax-free when you pull it out. You do not need to be some fancy stock market genius. You do not need to watch financial news channels all day, and you do not need to take massive risks on individual stocks. You just need to let the natural growth of the American economy be your primary workhorse. Step number 3 is to buy real assets instead of ego boosters. Let's define those clearly so there is zero confusion on the job site. An asset is something that puts cold, hard cash back into your pocket every month. A liability is something that sucks money out of your pocket every single month. A brand new boat or an $80,000 truck is a massive liability. A reliable, older work truck that is fully paid for in cash is a tool that allows you to build real assets. If you have extra cash burning a hole in your pocket from a long stretch of overtime, stop running to the toy store. Buy things that pay you back. Save up cash and buy a quality used dump trailer, then rent it out to local roofing contractors for $150 a weekend. Buy shares of reliable index funds. Save up enough for a down payment on a small, basic residential duplex where the tenant upstairs pays your entire mortgage for you. Stop trying to look incredibly rich on the job site when your actual bank account is running on absolute fumes. Now, I already know exactly what a lot of you are thinking right now. You are leaning back, shaking your head, and saying, "Mike, you don't understand my situation. Inflation is completely out of control. Gas prices are eating me alive. And my weekly grocery bill for the family is double what it used to be. I literally cannot afford to put away 15% of my check right now." I hear you, and I completely get it. Times are genuinely tough for working families across this country. But let me ask you a very brutal, honest question. If your foreman walked up to you on Monday morning and told you that the company was facing hard times and they had to cut your weekly pay by $40 or $50 across the board, what would you do? Would you give up? Would you let your family starve and lose your house? No, you would be furious. You would complain to the crew. You would probably call your boss a few choice names at lunch. But then you would go home, adjust your spending, cut out the junk, and you would make it work because you have to. You need to treat your retirement fund like that mandatory pay cut. If you do not force yourself to take this small financial hit right now, the universe is going to force you into a much worse situation later in life. It will force you to work with a broken down, aching body until the day you drop dead right on a job site. Do not let your pride today ruin your physical freedom tomorrow. Your older self is counting on you to make the disciplined choice right now while you still have the health to do it. To recap the whole plan, the fix for tradesman retirement is incredibly simple. Build your $10,000 dry spell cushion so you never panic, automate your 15% tool tax directly into an index fund every single week, and stop buying useless things just to impress people on the job site that you do not even like. If you want a completely free copy of the exact blue-collar retirement plan and budget tracker sheet that I used to dig myself out of a massive hole, click the link down in the description below. There are no catches, no hidden upsells, and no spam. Just real math for hardworking guys who want to protect their future. If this video opened your eyes even a little bit, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to watch my next video on the IRA trick that lets tradesmen legally skip out on paying taxes on their investment growth. Take care of your family, watch your back on the job site, and stop spending tomorrow's freedom today. I am Mike. I will see you in the next video.